We're going to start out standing today with your legs parallel and your feet hip width to shoulder width apart. Just pick a width that gives you a sturdy, stable stance. And I want you to come down into a partial squat just from the side view. You're going to try to keep your back straight, hinged forward at the hips. And speaking of your hips, the weight of your hips and your pelvis back a little bit so that your overall body weight is positioned over your heels. All right. Active with your arms like you would just finish pushing up out of a push-up. And I want you to shift your weight side to side. I'm mostly keeping that same neutral line and just transferring the body weight from one foot to the other. Now play around with that same idea going forward and backwards, paying attention to how your knees feel. It's okay to bring your knees forward towards your toes, and I want you to feel how the workload of how you're holding this squat transfers, still in the quads, but along a different part of the muscle as you shift. Just do one more time and then come back. Now, I want you to begin to swing your hips side to side. So instead of a weight shift now, you're just doing a hip hike, and it'll feel like you're shortening from the back part of your obliques, drawing the hip up towards the base of the rib cage. Let's do 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Now, center yourself again. I'm going to have you start a full hip circle with your pelvis guiding, but you're definitely going to have a reaction from your upper body. It's going to feel like you're going through like a mini cat stretch through the ribs, flexing and extending, and then try turning it the other way. If this feels awkward, if this feels clunky, don't worry. Anything we do at the beginning of the workout is just giving you a baseline for how you're feeling. I always say baseline, and then I never come back and check it again, so really, maybe it's not a baseline. All right, let's go down onto your hands and knees and continue working from here. Okay. Now, beginning like you're about to start a cat stretch, I want your weight even between your arms and your legs. Spread your fingertips apart, and we're going to go into an isolation of your scapula, gliding between retraction and protraction. This should be a pretty small motion. First, draw your shoulder blades slightly closer together, and then spread them apart. And just keep playing with that. Now, what you're trying to develop here is a smoothness to the motion, the actual glide of the shoulder blades, wider and closer along the ribs, but also an awareness of the rest of your body. Let's keep it to the torso right now. Your head, your ribs, and your hips. I want you to pretend they were like 3 hunks of vegetables on a skewer. And so as your body shifts slightly up and down, they keep the same relationship without any flexion or extension, like unlike a cat stretch. Do one more time. Sorry, that was like a million. But they were all important. Okay, I want you to finish pushed away, still neutral in your back, feeling your rib cage flush against your shoulder blades, and keep that feeling of kind of pushing yourself up, and start to do a weight shift backwards and forwards, limiting the amount of movement to how far you can shift while staying with that neutral spine. So if you bring your attention down to your sit bones, the base of your pelvis, make sure they stay pointing backwards towards the wall behind you, and you're opposing that with the crown of your head reaching forward towards the opposite wall the whole time. 2 more this way, and then we're going to add rotation. Now we're going to take the speed of this down so we can get that rotation in. Next time you shift back, reach one arm under to go into a thread the needle. So now you see the height of my shoulders are dropping quite a bit, and then come back to the center. And other side, shifting back and twisting. Let your upper body follow the rotation of the arm reaching under so that you're looking in the direction the hand's going. And let's go for 4 and up, 3, last 2, and one more time. All right, let's do one more from this position while we're here. Opposite arm and leg reaching out. Just start with a rep of that, and then I'll add one more thought. When you exhale, you're going to extend one leg backwards along the mat and up to hip height as the opposite arm reaches forward. And then as you inhale, you'll lower both limbs. Switch every time, so it'll feel like you're crawling in place. Okay, that's your base move. Now, if you want a little bonus work, as you're reaching the leg back, I want you to slightly turn your toes in and then back to center so that it feels like you're making a spiral towards the midline as the leg gets straighter, and then back in. So both things happening at the same time if you can coordinate that. If not, wait till your leg's straight and just do it at the end range. This is a nice thing to focus on to strengthen your inner thighs and to help the element of balancing, the muscle on the side of your hip that helps you balance while you're on one leg. So like on the leg that stays down. But it's going to encourage you to keep your hips more square to the floor. Sometimes when we turn out, it ends up rotating the pelvis. And we're just going to do one more on each side. Exhale, reaching away with that slight turn in. And last time, reaching out and then back in. All right, let's go down onto your back. Once you get there, just do a couple of wrist rolls. Let me think of Rick rolls, but wrist rolls. I need a DJ right now to just give me a little Rick Astley. Okay. And next, let's go into a set of toe taps. I want you to reach both arms up to the ceiling, palms facing in. When you exhale, rock into a small imprint, drawing your hips closer to your ribs so you feel your low back get just a little flatter to the mat. Then take up one leg at a time into tabletop position. When you get there, make sure you still feel the connection of your abs and that stability through the low back. When you exhale, you're going to lower one foot back down to the mat, focusing on using your breath to stay in that slight imprint. Inhale, leg back up. Exhale down. So the reason I use the word slight a lot when we talk about imprint is to make sure you work in, let's say, the target muscles or from stabilizing from the right region of your body. When we do a small tilt of the pelvis, bringing the low back closer to the mat but not smushing it, you're more likely to use your obliques and stay focused on the abdominal muscles to maintain that connection. If you tuck your pelvis a lot more than like 5 or 10 degrees, you're going to be more likely to use your glutes. So we bypass the core work that you're looking for. And by core work, I just mean the zone of your torso. And we're also reinforcing maybe a bad postural habit of holding tension in the glutes in that moment. Now, we're going to hold there for a second. We're going to add a scissor to it. So when you tap your foot down, we're going to scissor the arms with the same side arm going overhead. Inhale, you'll take both arms back up, and then exhale the other way. Sorry, I forgot we were changing exercises. Exhale, scissor. Inhale, lift. And exhale, scissor. And lift. Let's just do one more on each side like that. And up, and scissor over, and then back up. All right, take your first leg down, and then the second leg down. Okay, we're going to go through a bridging exercise, but a specific pattern. We're going to go straight up into the hip extension and then articulate back down so it feels like a wave. Leave a little space between your feet. Keep your feet fairly close to your body. When you exhale, compress your abs to create that initial stability. Then use your glutes and your hamstrings to push up. So it should feel like it's coming from right here. Now, when you roll back down, I want you to breathe in and breathe into your back as you're pushing those ribs into the mat. Work through your low back, land your hips. Exhale, press your hips up into your bridge, and then roll back down. All right, remember you have control of how you lift. Feel where I'm saying that you're pushing up right from where the top of your leg meets your pelvis. And then roll back down. And that should prevent you from using your back to lift. That's the skill we want to work on. 2 more times. Pressing up, reach your knees away from your shoulders, get some weight into your big toes, and then wave back down. 1 more time like that. Exhale, push up to bridge, and inhale, roll back down again. Okay, let's go into a little ab work, and I want you to make sure you're now back at a neutral pelvis, where you have that slight forward curve that looks like the posture you want to create when you're standing. We're going to begin with your hands behind your head for the first round. There's going to be like 3 or 4 different, I think 3 different things we'll be doing. I don't know yet. All right, so just a base crunch as you feel the size of this. Breathe in before you start. When you exhale, you're going to tip your chin down slightly to start curling your head and shoulders off the mat. Stop when you get to the bottom tip of your shoulder blades, and then inhale as you come back down. Now, as you curl forward, try to keep the pelvis still. So you want the pubic bone to stay heavy. You should be able to keep that little curve under your low back and lower back down. And I like this time where we're just isolating the upper body, specifically to pay attention to what's happening down at the pelvis. When you curl up your head, you can observe if the pubic bone has tipped up, and you can just self-correct right in the middle of the exercise. 2 more times. Exhale, flex forward, isolating the upper body. Inhale down, and just 1 more time like that. Nod your chin, curl up, and lower back down. 2 sets of 5 pulses. Nod your chin, curl up on your exhale. Now let's rock back and forth. You're going to inhale back, exhale lift. 2, and lift. And again, pelvis should be still, so you're feeling your abs get a little longer, then shortening again. Back, and hold at the top. Take a breath in. Exhale, go all the way down. Let's do that 1 more time. Nod the chin. On the exhale, feel the breath. Slide those ribs down to bring you up into flexion. Now inhale, we take it back a little. Exhale up. Imagine a rubber band. I stretch it. It pulls me back. Stretch it. Pull back 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale up. Last one. Exhale up. Hold up. Inhale. Come all the way back down. All right. Let's leave your head down for a second. That'll be back soon. I would like you to go back into your imprint. So you're going to do the small tilt of your pelvis. Remember, littler the better if you want to feel those obliques. Take one leg up, then the other. And then you're going to place your hands on the front of your thighs. So I'm sticking my elbows out a little bit. Just make sure you're not hunching forward in the shoulders. You can still get those shoulder blades nice and neutral on the mat. All right, now press your hands into your thighs and your thighs back into your hands, and notice how that gives you a bracing sensation through your torso. All right, so we're going to use that so you have a little more intensification of this ab work you want so bad. All right, so the first piece of this I want you to feel, can you maintain the tension as you extend one leg and bring it back in? So what you're feeling for is your ability to use your breath. You're going to exhale as you push your leg out to keep the connection of that tone in the core, even though you're kind of disrupting the push between one side, hand and leg, right? And in. So we're going to try that 1 more time on each side. Exhale as you push out, and then we're going to keep doing this, but with that, holding the crunch. Okay. All right, so not pulsing like we did before, but a sustained flexion. Nod your chin. Curl up your head and shoulders, and again, just make sure you've got that initial pressure. Take an inhale into your back. Then as you exhale, reach one leg out. Try to resist the pelvis moving at all. Inhale back in. Use your exhale to keep sliding those ribs down, because now your breath has to maintain the stability of your pelvis and to help you hold that flexion with your upper body. Exhale, press, and back in. Let's do this for 4. Inhale, tuck. Keep gazing right between those legs. Exhale, pull the navel in and tuck. 1 more time, maintaining that pressure, and then back in. All right, head down. Let's leave your legs in the air. Just bring your knees in a little closer just so you have a moment of relief from that tension. I want to reset it. Okay, now we're going to work on your obliques. I'm going to start you lifting and lowering your head as we go side to side, and then intensify it by exploring this without putting your head down. If that ends up being too much, just keep doing the first variation. All right, give me those tabletop legs again. Bring those abs in and just feel, that initial pressure. Okay, so if you know your position strong again, now I want you to remove your hands and place them on the side of your legs. When you exhale, you're going to curl up and rotate as you do the leg, but now I want you to put your hand against the inner thigh of the bent knee as you twist towards it, and then lower your head down. Both legs go to tabletop. Exhale, so you're going to curl up, rotate, look towards the side of the knee you're turning towards, and then back down. So one hand ends up, I'm going to say having no purpose, but it just stays in the air. You could use that as the target that you're staring at, in fact. Yeah, exhale up. All right, so after this next rep, I'm going to leave my head up. I'm going down 1 more time, but I'm going to keep my head up after that. Follow me if you'd like to. So you're going to exhale. Inhale through the middle as you switch legs. Exhale, switch. Inhale and exhale. Press, pass through middle. Give that tension. You want to linger there. Feel the arm and leg pressing against each other. Feel how your abs have to deal with that challenge. They still have the job of holding the rib to hip connection, helping you twist and increase that flexion. One more to each side. And back to middle, reach, and center. Let your head down, squeeze your knees in, tojo chest. All right, let's flip over onto your stomach. All right, now that we're here, let's start working with your legs parallel and slightly separated. We're going to go with the bent elbows in the shape of a W by your sides. Hands are about even with your ears to your hairs, somewhere around there. Okay. Let's start with a small extension of the upper body and keep the focus on relating spinal movement and the shoulder blade movement to facilitate how we're bending backwards. So I want you to start out with an inhale breath and get longer. Reach the crown of your head away from your toes. As soon as you exhale, give a little pressure into your forearms and then start to lift your gaze to begin extending the upper body. Now, as you press away with your forearms, pull your shoulder blades back and down and notice how that pushes your chest forward a bit. Stay there for a breath in. Let the breath fill up your chest. And then when you exhale, compress your abs and start to sink, letting one rib drop at a time, then your neck and head. Breathe in, get longer. And now with your arms, pretend you're pulling your elbows down, almost like you're trying to drag yourself forward on the mat. Now keep that, start to lift up and add drawing your shoulder blades together as you lift. Stay there, breathe in, exhale, pull your abs in, lower back down. So I never stop feeling like I'm dragging my arms that way isometrically. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, start to lift up, opening the collarbones wider by pulling the shoulder blades back. Stay there for your breath in, and then exhale as you come back down. Okay, so we're going to take your arms away when you're in the lift, but as long as we start with that initiation, you'll still have the support of the scapular muscles. Okay, from where your legs are now, turn your toes out slightly. While you're down, you're going to bend your knees and squeeze your heels together. Then when you inhale, you're going to extend the legs and lift them slightly off the mat. While you rise into extension, bring your arms by your sides. Then you're going to come back down, catch yourself on the forearms, pull your heels in. Inhale, you're going to lift up, pulling your shoulder blades back as you reach to the toes, and then lower back down, squeezing your heels. And again, inhale, heart lifts, energy out through the legs, and lower back down. If this causes pain in your low back, still straighten your legs, but keep them on the mat instead of in this hover. 2 more times. Inhale, reach back, open, lift your heart. Exhale, squeeze, lower down. 1 more time. Inhale, up and open. Exhale, lower back down. All right, take your legs back to straight and parallel. Now I'm going to have you go into a windmill. So in this one, you're going to stay in a lower hover. Push yourself up just an inch or 2 above the mat. And then when you're ready to start, you're going to take an exhale breath, pull your abs in, and reach your arms out to the side wide like you're a big T. Then as you breathe in, bring one arm to your hip and the other arm up by your ear. As you exhale, take both arms out to the side. And we're going to switch every time. Inhale, draw the arms in close to your body, and exhale wide. So the palms face in towards the torso and then back down to the floor. Inhale, exhale, abs drawing away from the mat. Inhale to the ear. Exhale to return, and inhale, reach. 1 more to each side. If your back's getting sore, just take yourself lower. How low can you get that hover without releasing all the way out of it? Back to the sides, lower back down again. All right, push yourself back into a shell stretch, hips onto your heels, rounded back. Stay here. Let's take a nice slow breath in, focusing the air into the back and the sides of your ribs. Hold your position for an exhale, compressing your abs just a little deeper to create that release. Take 1 more breath in to stay at the bottom. And then when you exhale, roll up to sitting. All right, let's do a little spine twist with the downward dog in the middle of it. As we set up for this exercise, ooh, I'm grinding my teeth. That's not good. I hope that wasn't really loud in the microphone. Okay, as you're setting up in this cross-legged position, can you please set up so your left heel is closer to your body and the right heel is more on the outside. Instead of overlapped, just one inside the other. We are going to pivot in this exercise if you've never done it before. All right, I'm going to call out right, left, so we can organize this all together. Arms out to the side, stop sign hands, so you're pushing out through the heels of the hands. Now you're going to do 3 pulses as you twist to the right, rotating for 3, 2, 1. Then when you inhale, I want you to turn around. Place your hands on the mat behind you and pivot into this pike position with the sit bones pointing up to the ceiling. Now when you come down, I want you to twist the other way, and now your right foot's on the inside, left's on the outside. We're going to twist to the left for 3, and 2, and 1. Rotate behind, hands to the floor, sit bones up, and let your head drop between your arms. Linger, and then come around to the other side. I hope you're breathing all those times I'm not telling you how to breathe. This is your important exhale. 2, 3. Let's say inhale, rotate, exhale, and maybe inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale. And then come back down, spiraling to the left for 3, and 2, and 1. Rotate back, push away with the heels of your hands, sit bones up to the ceiling, linger long back, and come back down, spiral. Rotate 3, deeper 2, further 1, turn back, hands to the floor, wide sit bones, shift that weight, come back down, and last one for 3, and 2, and 1. Rotate back into that pike. I want you to stay there when you get there. All right, so just get your weight where you want it, as straight of a back as possible. A little farther, and then I'm going to have you walk the dog. Drop one heel and then the other. And as we go through this motion, it should be a nice stretch for your calves. Now, I want you to let your hips rotate just a little bit by pushing the bending knee across the midline. And you see my upper body is going to twist a little bit to follow it. Let's do 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. All right, drop down onto your knees. And I want you to sit back into a shell again for a second. We're going to go through a rolling cat. So from wherever you'd sit with your arms in a shell stretch, walk them forward like another hand's worth. And then I want you to drop your chest while keeping your hips up a little bit so you're in an extended position to start. Stay here and take a breath in. When you exhale, tuck your tail under and start to round your spine through a cat stretch, shifting your weight into your hands. Push your hips down, lift your chest and chin, and look up at the ceiling. And really press away from the floor with your arms. Drop your chin, start to roll backwards. And then unravel, so you're lifting your chin, dropping your chest, and then sticking your tailbone up and out. As you exhale, tuck your tail under, pull your abs up, round forward. Push your hips down, lift your heart up, pull your shoulder blades back, look at the ceiling. Drop your chin, round your spine, scoop those abs up as you're shifting back. Stick out your tail, drop your chest, lift your chin. 2 more. Exhale, start to flex the spine. Let your shoulder blades spread apart. Push your hips down, lift your heart, and pull those blades back as you hit the extension. Drop your chin, round your spine, shifting back again. Stick out your tail, drop your chest, lift your chin. Last one. Exhale, round the spine and shift forward. Push your hips down, lift your heart up, lift your head, and then drop your head, round it. Shift your weight back, stick out your tail, and elongate again. All right. Let's get in leg pull front. It's a great exercise to strengthen your glutes, build up every muscle you use in a plank, so your shoulders, your abs, other things too. Stop wasting your time, get you exercising. All right, make sure you spread your fingertips apart wide so you can use the most shoulder muscles for your plank. All right, you're going to step back into a plank. We have to do a long plank, but if that's hard for you, you can do hips up just a little bit. All right, when you breathe in, you're going to lift one leg to the height of your hip. You're going to shift back and point your toes, shift forward and flex your foot, and then place your foot down. Let's try one on the other leg. Inhale, lift your leg up. Exhale, shift back and point. Inhale, shift forward and flex. Lower your leg down. And I'm going to have you tap your knees down and just get off your wrists for a sec. All right, let's keep doing it in sets so that you can take the wrist break if you need it. If not, just stay up and do a whole extra set. All right, shift forward, push your knees off the mat, and let's begin. Inhale, leg goes up. Exhale, shift it back. Inhale, shift it forward, then lower it back down to the mat. Other leg, inhale up. shift back point, shift forward flex, lower back down, drop your knees. Let's not take too long of a break. Right back up. Inhale, first leg lifts. Shift back point, shift forward flex, lower back down, other leg, lift it. Shift back, shift forward, come down, drop your knees. Just one more time. All right, shifting forward, press yourself up. Inhale, one leg to hip height. Shift back point, shift forward flex, lower back down, other side, lift it, shift back point, shift forward flex, lower down, drop knees, full shift back. Whee! I love doing that. I hate talking while I'm doing that. I feel like I get so out of breath. All right, we're going to stand back up. All right, I'm just going to check time for my watch. What we're going to do is we're standing here. Oh, I know. Okay, I just have to figure out what leg I want to do here. We're going to set the legs in a staggered stance. Yeah, I just want my front leg, I think, is what you need to see. Can you just do a couple lunges? As you're lunging up and down, I want to make sure you're getting movement in the right places. So one of the goals of this version is to get that back knee bending. It'll strengthen the hamstring of the back leg. And it's going to improve mobility through the ankle and the foot, like right to that big toe joint, as long as you keep accenting that back heel being lifted and the pressure going through the ball of the foot. All right, we'll say this is a set. Yeah, let's go down and stay. Okay, once you're in it, reach both arms forward at chest height. Now you're going to bend the elbow on the front knee side. Start to rotate like you're pulling an arrow back in a bow. Then continue rotating and reach your arm back. I want you to keep that arm straight, circle it around to the front. Let's do that again. Inhale, bend your elbow, then extend it back behind you. Exhale around to the front. Inhale, bend. Reach back, circle forward 2 more times. Bend, extend, bring it around. Last time. Bend, reach back, bring it around. Now take both arms up to the ceiling. This time I'm going to have you bend the same elbow down towards the floor. So we make a side bend and then draw it back up. So you're going to bend the elbow, side bend like you're reaching down to follow that arm, pull it back up to the top. As you're pulling down on the one arm, reach the other arm up higher, and hopefully that'll help you stretch that other side, like right down to that outer hip and all the way up. One more time. This is really great to challenge your balance too if you let your head fall and then back up. All right, because the weight of your head is offsetting your balance. I'm going to turn around the other way. The weight of your head is offsetting your balance, but let me tell you this while you start lunging again. It's also good because by tilting your head, you're challenging your inner ear, your vestibular system, to sense where you are in space, which is also really important for your balance. Yay us, doing good things all the time. I never told you what to do with your hands on the other side, so I'm not going to now. Just freeform it, be creative. Vogue. No, I don't know how to do that. Sorry for you Voguers, that was terrible. 2 more. I should know better. I should do better. Stay down. Don't ever let Camilla see this video. She'll be so mad. All right, hips squared off to the front. Arms reaching forward at chest height. Microphone turned off. Said you wanted to stay still a little longer. As you inhale, pull that arrow back in the bow. Reach your arm back. Exhale, circle around to the front. Inhale, bend. Extend your arm. Exhale, bring it forward. 3, let the head follow the twist. Pull it around to the front. 2 more times. Inhale, open, exhale, create power as you pull that arm around. Inhale, reach back, exhale to the front. All right, one more set of this. Arms up to the ceiling. Now, your arrow is pointing up to the ceiling now, so you still have that strong bow arm. Bend your elbow, reach down to the floor, exhale up. Sorry, I'm laughing. Exhale up. I'll tell you after. Inhale, bend your elbow, reach down to the ground. Exhale up 2 more times and drop. Exhale, lift. Last time, lowering to the ground Exhale up. All right, come on out of that. I really think you're there. I know you're not there right now, and I'm just recording to myself. So when I look at myself, I'm kind of pretending I'm looking at you, but there's no point, right? It's just me. Like I felt the need to make eye contact with fake you there, and I almost just went falling over because that wasn't good form. Remember that. All right. Lace your hands together. You're as good as done. I'm going to have you just round forward with your upper body and push the palms away from you. Bring your hands right back into your chest. Look up at the ceiling. Exhale, round forward, push away. Inhale, back in. Just 2 more times, just getting space between those blades, pulling it back into your chest, and 1 more. And then back into your chest. And now just for grounding your weight, I want you to go down into a squat 1 more time. Rise up, and then shift your weight to the balls of your feet. Lift your heels, and drop them. Side view, send your hips back. Rise up, so you're still on your heels. Shift your weight forward. Drop back down, hips back in space. Rise up, arms overhead. How's that neutral back feeling? So you want to hinge forward at the hips, but if you're still imagining your head, ribs and hips are on the skewer, right? Traveling together and up. I definitely want kebabs for dinner now. Every time that comes up. And relax. All right, done for today. I hope you are loving your life. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.